So the Gauteng MEC for Education, Matome Chiloane, has just provided an update on the 2026 online admissions application period for grades 1 and grades 8 as applications come to close on Friday next week. For more on this now, here's reporter Calvin Dludla who joins us for an update. So Calvin, there's lots to go through from that briefing, but also some of those important dates to note. What we know so far is that on the 29th of August, all applications close, but on the 9th of September, all documents must be submitted.
Good morning to you, Olisi, and to our SABC viewers at home. Yes, you are spot on. The 29th of August, which is next week, it's the deadline for those online applications, specifically for grade 1 and grade 8. You would know that this is an important period and the busy period for the Department of Education here in Gauteng. In most cases, they get calls, especially towards the end of the deadline, they get calls from parents asking for spaces. MEC responsible for education in Gauteng, Matome Chiloane, was here urging parents to make sure that they apply and finish all the details so that their kids would be accepted in various schools. You would understand that there have been concerns from some of the parents saying that they apply for a certain school and they are provided another school. Some of them saying that it becomes difficult, extremely difficult for some of the learners to go because of a distance. But the spokesperson is here. I'm talking about Steve Mabona, who will be able to tell us more on what the MEC was talking about. Thank you very much for your time. He emphasized more on the deadline, reminding parents that the 29th of August is the deadline and there is no extension.
Yes, definitely. I mean, we have learned that if we have almost every parent in the system, by the time we close, we'll be in a position to plan ahead. So we realize that some of the parents will not apply during this period. They will opt to want to come in January. So we are saying to parents on Friday next week is the deadline. They need to make sure that they apply. And those that will be applying on the last day, they will have 7 days for them to submit. So they need to understand that we have a deadline on the 9th of September. We will be closing for receiving the documents, because from the 29th, the system will shut down. You will not be in a position to upload documents the following day or beyond. So you will then expected to submit those documents at the schools that you would have applied to, all of them. So your deadline will be the 9th of September.
Let's talk about those documents that need to be uploaded. What kinds of documents are you talking about?
It's an identity of a parent. We need a certification, that a birth certification of a child. We need the immunization card if the child is going to grade 1. We need a very important document, proof of address. And if the child is going to grade 8, we will need a report card. So those are 4 critical documents that we need.
I heard the MEC saying that parents must not at all costs submit a fraudulent document.
Yes, any submission of a fraudulent document will then mean, most especially the proof of address, we're not going to be in a position to place until we have a document that will be assisting us. We know that parents, with desperation, they will then go borrow addresses. Schools are now verifying, and we are supporting the schools for them to verify and make sure that they admit learners that are closer to schools. We're doing that because we're trying to avoid a school that will be having transportation outside in the form of, a lot of kumbis and all that coming far-flung from the school instead of the people that are in the area being accommodated in those schools. So if you have a tenant, you need to provide information that you are a tenant. If you are staying with your parents, you need ample information that will justify that you need to have that school. And it's not first come, first serve. So if you stay closer to that school, you might even apply on the 28th or even on the 29th. We will be in a position to use the criteria to place your child.
97,000 incomplete applications. How are you going to deal with that?
That's why we are calling upon all the parents and guardians that if you attempted to apply, go back into the system and verify and check whether your process is done. Because once you completed the application, the system will then send you a notification that you are done with the process. So you need to go back and finalize the process. We have realized that there are those that would have entered the system, created credentials, registered the learner, and left it at that. There are those that would have done those two, and also, included their address and selected schools, but did not, upload documents. So we have those categories which we want to call upon parents to make sure that they go back into the system, check whether you have applied fully. If you are not, then the system will prompt you. And also the status of your application, quite key. It will indicate. If you have missing documents, it will indicate, it will be red. It will be a red indication there that you have missing documents. If the application is partially verified by the school, it will say. If it's not verified, it will also indicate. If it's verified, it will be on a green, which means everything has been ticked. There are parents that will say, I submitted all documents, the other schools verified me, but this specific school did not verify me. Other schools will not focus much on that address, because you would have been qualifying, probably you've utilized the 30-kilometer radius. They would not be strict on the address. Beyond 30-kilometer radius, they will confirm. But if you applied with a home within the feeder zone, then they will need a proof of address. That's why those schools will not verify until they would have visited, if there's a suspicion, they would have visited the home and checked that the child stays there.
Technically, not glitches as yet.
No, not glitches. I mean, we are celebrating 10th year this year. So we've been doing this for quite some time. We improve the system on a yearly basis. We do surveys as well. That's why sometimes it takes time for us to open the system, for the following year, because we do verification and make sure that we tick all the boxes. When we open the system, we would have addressed all the concerns that will be coming from all our stakeholders, but also from our officials in the department as well, to say, can't we change this? Can we do this to improve the system? So the system has been improved on a yearly basis. So that's why we did not have any technical glitches.
Short message to parents.
Parents need to hit the call. We really request them to be within the application period, which will then end on Friday, the 29th of August. Once we have all of them, we should be happy, and we'll be in a position to can plan ahead for all the high pressure areas, as it were. Gauteng, everyone wants to come here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, Mxolisi, that was Steve Mabona. He speaks for the Department of Education here in Gauteng. We had the MEC, Matome Chiloane, who was here just to update parents on the online applications for grade 1 and grade 8. You'd remember that the 29th of August, which is Friday next week, is the deadline. Mabona urging parents to just make sure that they submit all documents, saying that they must desist from submitting fraudulent documents.